On the afternoon of November 24th, 1971, a well-dressed man wearing dark sunglasses boarded a passenger plane with a briefcase. He sat quietly. He ordered a drink. He looked completely ordinary. But minutes later, he handed a note to the flight attendant. A note that would change history. It said he had a bomb. He wanted money. He wanted parachutes. And he wanted the plane flown into the night sky. He would become known as D.B. Cooper, a name that would echo across books, movies, documentaries, podcasts, and FBI files for more than 50 years. He pulled off the only unsolved hijacking in U.S. history, and then vanished into darkness. No confirmed sighting, no remains, no parachute, no trace. For half a century, investigators, detectives, and citizens have all asked the same question. Who was D.B. Cooper, and how did he disappear without leaving a single clue? Tonight, in this 2-hour documentary, we follow the mystery from beginning to end. Every moment, every theory, every suspect, every secret the man in seat 18. He acted like a businessman, but spoke like someone on a mission. D.B. Cooper arrived at the airport casually, with no rush. He bought a one-way ticket, paid in cash, using the name Dan Cooper. He boarded the aircraft, a Boeing 727. Witnesses described him as quiet, polite, well-mannered, calm, in complete control. He ordered a bourbon and soda. He lit a cigarette. And then he passed a note. The note said, "I have a bomb." The flight attendant looked at him. He lifted the briefcase slightly. Inside, wires, cylinders, and red-colored sticks. Real or fake? We still don't know. The demand, unlike any hijacker the world had ever seen. Cooper made simple, precise demands. $200,000 in cash, 4 parachutes, a fuel truck on standby, no tricks, no police inside, and he wanted the plane to keep flying. What made him unusual? He was calm. He spoke softly. He gave clear instructions. He wasn't violent. He wasn't angry. He didn't panic. He never lost control. Passengers didn't even know there was a hijacking. When the plane landed, Cooper allowed the passengers to leave unharmed. He then ordered the crew to take off again into the stormy night with only himself, the pilots, and 2 flight attendants on board. The night flight. This was not a random crime. It was a plan. Cooper told the pilots to fly at 10,000 feet, fly slow, keep the landing gear down, keep the flaps adjusted, maintain a specific airspeed, keep the plane above a specific altitude. These instructions were not guesswork. They were technical. Someone with deep knowledge of aircraft wrote them. He also chose a plane model with a special feature. The Boeing 727 had a rear staircase that opened in flight. He planned to jump. The jump, 8 minutes. No man should survive this jump, yet Cooper tried anyway. In the middle of the night, in freezing rain, at high altitude, with fierce wind. Cooper opened the rear stairs. The crew felt the plane shift. Lights flickered. A warning alarm sounded. Cooper jumped. A lone man, in a business suit, into darkness. No one saw him again. The impossible landing zone. He didn't jump into open land. He jumped into a nightmare. He leapt into heavy rain, 150 miles per hour, winds, thick forest rivers, power lines, complete darkness. No visual reference, survival experts say, no one would survive such a jump. Yet the FBI never found a single piece of evidence he died. Not one scrap, not one shoe, not one parachute shred, not one bone. So, did he survive? The FBI arrives. The FBI launched one of the biggest investigations in their history. They interviewed pilots, passengers, flight crew, parachute experts, criminals, military jumpers, airline workers. They collected fingerprints, hair fibers, cigarette butts. The ransom note, they searched. Dense forests, rivers, mountains, farmland, nothing. D.B. Cooper had vanished. The first theory's either a genius or a dead man. Theory 1, he died during the jump. Theory 2, he survived but was injured and died shortly after landing. Theory 3, he survived completely and walked away unharmed. Theory 4, he had help on the ground, a getaway plan. Theory 5, he was military trained and knew the terrain. Each theory has problems, each theory has supporters. The truth remains hidden. The money that appeared. 9 years later, a clue washed ashore. In 1980, a young boy camping by a river found something buried in sand. Bundles of cash, still held together by rubber bands. They matched the serial numbers of Cooper's ransom. But the location didn't match the flight path, and only a small portion of the money was found. Where was the rest? Why was it buried? How did it travel downriver? Did Cooper leave it there intentionally? No answers. The suspects. The world has named suspects for decades, none confirmed. Some of the most famous suspects include 1. A trained paratrooper jumped from planes during war, but he denied everything. 2. A career criminal had experience in hijackings, but the traits didn't fit Cooper's calm behavior. 3. A quiet aircraft mechanic knew the 727 well, died before the FBI could question him. 4. A former airline employee knew the layout, was trained in parachuting. 5. A mystery man bragging on his deathbed, but no evidence linked him. Each suspect gave answers, but no conclusion. The bomb briefcase. Was it even real? Experts disagree. Some say the bomb looked real enough. Others say Cooper intentionally made it look fake. If the bomb was fake, it means he never planned to hurt anyone. He was confident enough in his plan. He knew the crew wouldn't risk testing him. A brilliant psychological move. The man behind the mystery. He knew aviation, weather, survival, and how to stay invisible. D.B. Cooper knew flight patterns, knew plane mechanics, knew parachuting basics, knew how to avoid leaving evidence, knew how to remain calm, knew exactly what he wanted. He was not an amateur. Whoever he was, he planned this for a long time. The terrain search. The region was remote, cold, dark, filled with rivers, cliffs, and deep forests. Search teams combed terrain for months. Dogs, helicopters, specialists, nothing. It's as if Cooper melted into the land. The confessions over the years, dozens claimed to be D.B. Cooper. Most were attention seekers. But a few stood out. A dying veteran's confession, a prison inmate's detailed account, a quiet man whose family insisted he was Cooper, a suspect who matched the description almost perfectly. Still, no proof. The science center's modern investigators used DNA tests, computer models, weather reconstruction, flight trajectory simulations, banknote decay analysis. The results solved some mysteries and created new ones. No DNA sample ever matched a suspect. The landing zone model changed multiple times. Some believe Cooper jumped earlier than recorded. Nothing fits perfectly. The he lived theory. This theory claims he landed safely, hid the parachute, walked to a road, had a vehicle nearby, went home quietly, never told anyone, lived a normal life. This would make him one of the smartest criminals in modern history. The he died theory, others argue. The jump was too dangerous, the weather too extreme, the visibility too poor, the terrain too unforgiving, that Cooper never survived the landing. But if this is true, where is the body? Why wasn't anything ever found? The money analysis. The found money raises questions. Why only a fraction? Why buried shallow? Why in a place that doesn't match the flight path? Did Cooper drop it, lose it, plant it, or did the river carry it from somewhere else? Scientists still debate. The final suspect, in recent years, one mysterious figure gained attention. Knew the airport, knew the plane, matched the sketch disappeared around the same time, left strange clues in writing, but without DNA, the case remains open. The FBI closes the case. After decades of dead ends, the FBI suspended active investigation. They admitted, no suspect remains strong enough, no solid evidence exists, no physical clues remain, the truth may never be known. The mystery is now part of legend. The legend of D.B. Cooper voiceover. A man walks onto a plane. He carries a briefcase. He orders a drink. He makes a demand. He takes the money. He jumps. And he disappears forever. Whether he lived or died, his story echoes because he represents something rare. A mystery with no ending. A case with no answer. A crime with no closure. A man with no identity. D.B. Cooper is not just a criminal. He is a symbol of boldness, mystery, courage, rebellion, possibility, a legend that refuses to fade. The man who took a leap into darkness and became a ghost.